My name is Todd Harper, and I have one question for you. Are you tired of putting money in the wallets of big corporate energy and the oil fat cats? If your answer is yes, then it's time to fight back and grab their greasy wallets and stop them committing these highway robberies every day. In this short and controversial video, you'll find out how to beat insane fuel prices and electric bills. And the only thing I ask of you is that you have an open mind and a willingness to listen. Want to know the solution? You won't believe me if I don't show you this short video from NBC News showing how the police are using such a setup to run their cars.
Well, you profiled this water for gas system last week, but one police department in the upstate has been looking at this for months. Now they're using it.
It looks like a regular SUV, but it's not. Misleading because it's an undercover Honeypath police vehicle and doesn't have a big budget for a large gas bill. So they're using water for gas.
Yeah, we've had a few snickers from some people in town that just don't believe it. And naturally, I was skeptical of it when the mayor would talk about it.
He's talking about the water for gas system. You build it and attach it to the engine. It then produces hydrogen and oxygen, or what the water for gas people call HHO. It's supposed to give you better gas mileage.
You know, the numbers speak for themselves. 6 to 8 miles per gallon is a pretty good number.
Yes, the solution is water. What big corporations don't want you to know is that anybody can run a car on water. There's nothing to it, and you can do it. You can defeat the global corporate hogs who want to extort $3.70 a gallon from you. The truth is finally coming out after decades of lies, manipulation, and deception, because big thirsty money, oil, and energy corporations know that a car or an energy generator can use water to run. In the hands of the people, it'll lay waste to big oil and energy profits like a biblical plague of locusts. And this scares them, and they're willing to do anything in their power to prevent this from happening. Here are some examples. The miracle brain inventor of a working free energy fuel cell was poisoned. The great researcher who threatened big oil with another kind of fuel cell lived in fear for his life, was pushed down the stairs to his death in his South Central Carolina home. The most important designer of a vehicle that runs without gasoline was still in prison when he died, and his secrets died with him. These freedom fighters fought big energy and oil corporations and lost. They have made the ultimate sacrifice so that today you can continue the fight and quit being a slave to those greedy, thirsty, money fat cats. You can stop wasting thousands of your hard-earned dollars, putting them in the pockets of big oil and energy, and instead put it in your pocket where it belongs. Let me break something to you. These big corporations lost their attention this time. They missed one brilliant inventor. They messed up big time with Paul Pantone before he died. Before he died, Paul Pantone made sure that his secrets were kept hidden, guarded by people he trusted. The shock will hit you hard when you learn the simple truth about the water-powered generator and car. It's so easy. No wonder big energy and oil wants to suppress it. The same fuel generator can be used to run a motorcycle, a speedboat, even an entire house. In a few minutes from now, you'll be furious that you ever gave a single cent to these corporate oil energy companies. Just imagine your savings then. Save hundreds of dollars each month. No more being gouged at the gas pump. Cut your electric bill by 80%. Even get rid of it completely and never pay big oil another penny. You could even end up with the electricity company sending you checks. Run your car, your boat, and your house on water. The way you live today is possible thanks to these great minds. You may not realize that all these innovations came with a price for these magnificent people. They sacrificed their intimacy and private lives to provide freedom for the entire world. And doing so, they died unhappy, lonely, and poor, or so the story unfolds to the masses. Our water-powered hydrogen generator has already got people excited. Like James J. Gree from Austin, Texas, who told us, "I showed my water-powered generator, which powers my house, to my neighbor, and it blew his mind. He said, 'It's a miracle.' I think it scared him so much, he stopped drinking." Then there's Fred Small from Kansas, who says, "I've been driving my free electricity no-gas car all around town. Do you think I'm going to put a big sign on it and say, 'Water-powered car'? Hell no, but I am going to save a heck of a lot of money." Next, I'm going to get to work on generating the power I need to get off the freaking grid. As you are about to find out, all of this is way easier than you think. Your big oil corporate masters want you to behave like a good little puppet. They don't want you to know that you can do this, and not only that it's really pretty doggone easy. Yes, anybody can do it with the right instructions. Remember the steam engine? There has been half a dozen working water-powered cars since the early 1800s. But back then, big oil and big energy didn't exist, so nobody gave a crap. When these fat cats took over the power, the simple, powerful, proven secrets behind this hydrogen water engine got locked up tighter than Fort Knox. There are many more unsung energy heroes, courageous inventors who risked everything, were threatened, slimed, ruined, discredited, or even killed by these big evil corporations because they fought for your energy freedom. The Paul Pantone story could end up in tragedy for him. Instead, when he saw what he was up against, he wisely made sure his secrets are well hidden, and his dream will live on by perfecting his water-powered generator in secret. Let me tell you the forgotten story of a free energy genius, Paul Pantone. In 1942, Henry Wallace, the Vice President of the United States, saw Pantone run a car on water power. Right after the Wallace demonstration, the President of Bolivia witnessed the live proof as well. They both told Pantone that he was invited to the military intelligence of the United States with his revolutionary invention. He was invited to see Chief Military Intelligence Service of the United States War Department. At that time, it was believed that the generator might be helpful to the U.S. war efforts. In April of that year, Mr. Pantone successfully demonstrated his generator to the Bureau of Standards in Washington, D.C., and applied for a U.S. patent. But because there was a war going on, all U.S. patents had to be sealed for 1 year. After the year was up, Pantone received a letter from the patent office stating that because of the high cost of aluminum and magnesium, the two metals used in his invention, that his patent was impractical. His patent attorney, after several letters to the patent office, also advised him to shelve his patent until a later date, as petroleum was still believed plentiful and cheap. In the 1970s, when air pollution and oil shortages became a problem, Pantone unshelved his generator, believing that the time was finally right. He secured a U.S. patent, and a few years later, he received patents from Germany, Brazil, and Japan. Fresh from his success with the patent process, Pantone believed he was just a few short steps away from changing the world. The naive and overly trusting inventor was eager to make history. After all, Pantone had been more than patient. In February of 1974, with the hopes of acquiring government backing and support, Pantone demonstrated his water fuel cell to Congressman Robert Rowe. Mr. Rowe seemed impressed and said that he would bring it to the attention of Washington officials. Upon leaving, Mr. Pantone invited the congressman to another demonstration he had planned later that year at Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Congressman Rowe was invited to take part in a history-making voyage, the first power boat ride fueled by seawater. Many newspapers were invited as well. Congressman Rowe did not show up, and neither did many newspapers. Mr. Pantone never heard from the congressman again about his invention or the promise to bring it to the attention of appropriate Washington officials. But his voyage was a success. History was made on July 17, 1974, when a 26-foot powerboat ran for 9 hours using the Pantone generator and seawater for fuel, putting back into the oceans its waste, only clean water. Pantone also had his invention analyzed by independent experts. The Pantone generator passed all the tests at the New Jersey Golub Analytical Service Corporation labs in September of 1973, and again in 1979. Nan Waters, a consulting chemist with the Aesop Institute, analyzed the generator and wrote the following report. I have read the literature relating to Pantone's hydrogen generator. In my opinion, there is no reason why it should not work as described.